he could start for the Lakers right now. I want to play with my son. He said it 3 years ago.
I mean, how do you judge LeBron being better than my son?
Stephen A., what do you make of LeBron's comments?
That this is all his fault.
Bronny, he will have to make a lot of decisions regarding his health and basketball career.
It's hard for me to see that, especially if it's teams picking up in the top 10. If you look at a team, for example, Charlotte, would they pick Bronny James?
We all know that it is better to be rich than being poor. We all agree that being successful in life is better than feeling miserable. Those of us who are parents probably dream that one day our kids will be lawyers, presidents of nations, successful businessmen, or unbeatable sportsmen with hundreds of millions of dollars in pocket. The expectations to see kids win in life often are larger when parents achieve themselves some sort of success, and it is all good when it is kept on reasonable level, when there is no unhealthy pressure and expectations, just a natural parental support. But where to draw the line which shows that it starts to get unhealthy? Where is the line which says, dude, hold on, you might be throwing your kid under the bus here? Let's try to discuss this topic on the example of NBA loudest super dads in recent years. Surprisingly, this seems to be the actual area where Lavar might be matching the level of one of the top NBA players ever. And no, I do not have in mind Lavar's claims that he would beat Jordan playing one-on-one. This is a short video about Lavar Ball and Lebron James and how they try to push their sons to NBA stardom. There is a lot of parallels between those two. Let's get back to year 2017. The draft this year did not seem to be loaded with talent, but there were two players on the spotlight, Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball. There are few ways to raise draft stock of player. Most important one is obviously talent level and NBA readiness presented by the draft night. Lonzo, skill-wise and talent-wise, was ready. Big, strong point guard with tremendous court vision, with ability to defend multiple positions and rebound. Shooting ability was dodgy, but this is something many players lack on the draft night, just to become later very good at it. Kawhi Leonard is probably best example. This is a skill that can be developed, so he was destined to be drafted high. But Lonzo was not the only story prior to draft, definitely not the major and loudest one. Antics of his father, Lavar, are now almost legendary.
So obviously Lonzo's on the Lakers, right? So
Yes.
Is this year kind of a warm-up year, and then you're going to get Paul George, LeBron, and then you're going to really ball?
No, this ain't no warm-up year. We finna ball straight from day one.
The Ball boys are my three sons. Most dominating basketball players ever to be raised.
Do you ever worry he's writing checks so you're going to have to then cash in the NBA?
Like I said, I'm 19 years old. You know, I've been doing this for 19 years now, so no, it's nothing new.
Right now. UCLA wouldn't be where they at. Steph Curry gonna shoot him out the game. He ain't rebounding and passing that ball. Shoot him out the game.
Lavar was pushing Lakers to draft his son, blabbing everywhere how talented his son is. It would be all good and acceptable, but in the same time Lavar had a lot of his agenda. Not only he was riding Lonzo back, but he also in the same time was trying to market another two of his sons. Plus he tried to cash in on Lonzo as much as possible, marketing his crappy BBB line of shoes. From the very first day, young Lonzo had to deal with huge pressure of being a Laker, of being selected with number 2 in draft, of being named by Magic Johnson as his more talented successor. But there is more on this. Lavar put a target on his back. Multiple NBA fans were disgusted with how Lavar was handling the business, and unluckily for Lonzo, they moved a lot of hate and Lavar caused disgust on him.
I'm excited to give you guys an exclusive look at my first ever signature shoe, the ZO2s by Big Baller Brand.
Now let's move to year 2024. Since few years, major story around LeBron is that he wants by the end of his career share the court with one of his sons, Bronny. At this stage of his career, LeBron is named as, let's say, top 3 player in the history of the NBA. Some claim he is maybe the best one to ever play. LeBron regularly attends his son's game and markets him as much as possible, trying to raise his draft stock. He actually went as far as he said that whoever drafts Bronny will get also LBJ as a part of the deal, with money not being an issue. And we all know that despite the age, LBJ is still a force to be reckoned, putting crazy numbers at this stage of his career. So this can be potentially still be very tempting for a win now franchise. LeBron, similarly to Lavar, had also some very questionable statements, like the one when he said publicly that Bronny is currently good enough to be a help and improvement in regards to current Lakers roster. Bronny's stats seem to suggest something opposite, and how James threw his current teammates under the bus with this statement caused outrage among many fans. Also, people's disgust to this marketing strategy grew so much that, as with Lonzo, they pushed a lot of hate on Bronny just due to the way how his father behaves. So both of those youngsters had or have to deal with extra mental pressure. NBA and so many followers can break even toughest guys. But there is also another aspect, which makes me feel very, very uneasy. At this point, I have to put a disclaimer here and make a statement that I am not a doctor and those are only my pure speculations based on things and comments we can find online in public space. I am not trying to blame or accuse anyone, and this is not an attempt to do that. So I mentioned earlier that Lonzo early in his career had to be a part of his father's marketing strategy of Big Baller Brand, or BBB shoes. What we know now is that Lonzo's injury might be caused by the BBB shoes he was asked to wear. They were of poor quality, and the support they provided to his legs was of uncertain quality. Lakers themselves said that exactly those shoes might be the reason why Lonzo's legs got so injury prone. Lonzo himself admitted that those shoes were very bad.
Lonzo Ball revealed that he had to change his Big Baller brand shoes after every quarter because they would rip.
Currently, Lonzo is injured since long time. Surgeries seem to bring no closure to this very sad story, and his career might be in jeopardy. There is a serious chance that we will not see Lonzo Ball ever on court again. So potentially, just potentially, because as mentioned, I am not a doctor and I am not a lawyer and I am not a member of Ball's inner circle or medical staff. There is a chance that his father's pursuit of extra money might be costing Lonzo potentially amazing career and dream of his life, of being a successful NBA player. And let's move to Bronny James. In 2023, a tragic story struck LeBron's family. His beloved son Bronny suffered a cardiac arrest due to heart defect, being only 19 years old.
Breaking news into First Take. Bronny James, the eldest son of Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James, suffered a cardiac arrest Monday and is in stable condition.
It happens that young people have heart issues, and 100% we can be sure that LeBron provided to his son absolutely top-level doctors and checkups, something on a level we probably cannot even imagine. James can afford literally anything, and he loves his son, so that is certain, and so Bronny was clear to progress with his pursuit of NBA career. But you have to wonder and question if a young lad who is under humongous pressure around him to succeed should continue to exercise and perform on such a high level. Huge mental pressure and physical workload are not something what we would normally perceive as something recommended if you have a history of heart failures. But as mentioned, I know nothing, I am not an expert, I am just a regular Joe who wonders if his father's passion and his son's will to make his father proud are potentially not a blend that might be threatening his health. Same like with Lavar and Lonzo. So the story of those two families and players continue. Lonzo is constantly questioned if he will ever again get back to playing condition, sometimes in a very harsh way, especially by Stephen A.
Concerns surrounding the one and only Lonzo Ball's rehab progress are apparently growing for the Chicago Bulls. According to Joe Cowley of the Chicago Sun-Times, Billy Donovan, the head coach for the Bulls, admitted recently that Lonzo still is not sprinting.
And Bronny is still fighting for his draft spot, with his father continuously making media statements that just add oil to the fire, and people start to call LeBron a hypocrite.
When he said in the locker room with media members standing all around, quote, "Bronny could play for us right now. Easy."
So you put your kid out there, you got to be ready for like mock drafts.
Stephen A., what do you make of LeBron's comments?
That this is all his fault.
Any attention that he's warranted has been because of his daddy.
The pressure is there, the dreams are there, the sheer will to succeed and make your father happy is there surely too. And we are observing those two stories progressing and still unfolding. Will Lonzo ever be healthy again and play? Will Bronny get to the NBA and have a successful career and healthy life? 100% I wish them both to live happy lives and succeed in their goals. I love those two. I am unhappy that they are under such a pressure specifically due to their families and fathers. Very often unfair pressure, with fans very often unleashing on them due to antics of their fathers. Bronny, Lonzo, if you by any accident ever watch it, I love you guys. NBA fans love you and wish you all best. There are people that can imagine and understand the pressure. Stay strong, all best for you. As always guys, if you want more content like this, hit like and subscribe.